Hello and welcome. Recently we decided to brighten up our laundry room by painting it white. But to do so we had to remove all the hooks and nails that were in the wall. Now we're left with nothing that can hold up our brooms and mops, so we had to look for a solution. That's where this little device comes in. At one of the big box stores we found the Unger. It's a hang-up 5-bracket organizer. Plastic brackets that allow your broom handles to fit in this case a total of 5. On the flip side of the aluminum rail, there are pre-drilled holes. These are actually 16 on center, 24 on center, and 27-inch on center. So it should fit almost everybody's application. Another nice feature is that if you take off the end cap, you can actually remove any of the brackets. This is really nice if you don't want to use all of them. Then you simply put the end cap back on and you're set to go. What do you do with the remaining bracket? Well, since it has 2 holes on the back, you can actually screw these onto a wall and use them that way. Finally, make sure that the product includes a pair of wood screws and a pair of mollies. Tools that we're going to need for this project include a drill, a 5/64 bit, a Phillips driver, a level, a pencil, a Phillips screwdriver if we don't have that driver bit, a stud finder, and tape measure. A word of caution: before drilling into a wall, make sure that there are no electrical or other utility lines in the wall. In my case, the opposite side of this wall is in the garage, and by visual inspection, there are no outlets that are near it. Actually, there's this outlet, but it is far away from where we're going to be because we're going to be in that section, and there's no gas or water lines in this wall. So we're safe to drill on the other side. One of the things I do is grab a broom because I want to determine how high to put this rail. So figuring my offset here, it looks like I'm probably going to be 66 to 69 inches for the rail. With 2 marks indicating my height, I now need to find the studs. So I use this stud finder and I go across, waiting for the red light to go steady, and it looks like, yes, right here there's a stud, so somewhere in the middle of it we'll mark, and then we'll search for the other one. And we're looking for that nice steady light, and we got one here. So we split the difference between the times that it comes on and goes off. That'll be the center of the stud. So in our case, that's 16 inches. Depending on how your house was built, it could be different. Now, if you don't have a stud finder, you can just use your knuckle and listen for the change in pitch. When the sound deadens, then you know there's a stud behind there. As you can tell by the sound, there's a stud behind here, and there's a previous nail hole to prove it. As mentioned earlier, it does come with 2 wood screws and 2 mollies, but because we're going right into the stud, we're not going to need the mollies. You may need the mollies if you're not going to hit a stud, especially if you're going into drywall. So we get our drill, and we're going to use a 5/64 drill bit as my pilot for the screw. So we go up to our mark, and we drill. Probably don't have to go as deep as I did. Now I take the rail, and I'm going to go on the inside because those are my 16 on center. And I'm going to put the screw in and just put it in by hand. Now, being careful not to scratch the paint with it, I get my drill and I finish driving the screw, but not all the way. I want it loose enough so I can still move the rail because I still need to level this. So coming back, put my level on top, press the rail against the wall, and now I can mark exactly where my pilot hole needs to go. Being careful with the drill, we line it up and create our hole. Now once again, I'm just going to start the screw by hand and then use the drill to drive it. This time I'm going to drive it all the way in. As we're driving the screw in, we're being careful not to go too fast because we don't want the bit to jump out and scratch the wall or the rail. It's not about speed here, it's about doing a nice job. And then finally we come over, drive home the screw on the right, and then I check the brackets, make sure that they can move over the screw heads. And you notice there are only 2 brackets on there, and there are a total of 5 that come with the kit. So I'm going to put all 5 of them on. And then we add the end cap. And now we're ready to put a mop pole. And it grabs it, works nice. All we have to do now is populate it with all our products. And in this case, I have 4 things that are coming off of it, which leaves me 1 in reserve. And because it's on a rail, you can change the spacing of these as you need to. As you can see, we have plenty of space for our brooms and mops and sweeps. And because the brackets are adjustable, you can change the relationship and tighten them up or loosen them up however you wish. And for only $14, this is a very nice bracket organizer. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, subscribe, and as always, thank you very much for watching.